Well, Neil, let's start with last week. Generally considered, I think, by all to be a job well done at Gainsborough. What were your feelings on that, but also particularly the draw coming out of the hat?
I think,
As the Oxford name came out, what did you think,
yeah,
feel?
I think first of all on the performance, we weren't quite sure what to expect. Gainsborough did a great job the round before on York, and York had a good team out as they always do. So you're thinking, right, okay, they're going to fancy himself as their cup final. Weren't sure whether they were going to try and be aggressive and press us away from home, or whether they were going to sit in and make it difficult. So we tried to prepare the team for every eventuality. But I thought the boys, right from the word go, set their stall out, and I don't think we gave Gainsborough a chance to get a foothold in the game. The way we passed it, moved it, won it back, the bravery in our play, and in the end could have been probably more convincing. So that part of it was excellent. The whole attitude towards it, and then when the draw come out, I'm not for any stretch of the imagination thinking Oxford's an easy game, because it's not. They've just beaten Forest Green, who are at the top of our league. But you kind of looked at it and thought, if we could avoid one of the bigger teams in our league, obviously you sort of Rochdale, your teams at the time we didn't know it was going to be, but your Sutton Uniteds, your Aldershots, your teams where you think, okay, they'll be tougher as far as the standing in the league. I think that was your first priority. So I can't say it's a brilliant, perfect draw, but I can't say I'm displeased with it either. I think it's a game. If we're at it, we've got a chance in, and but we've also got to be wary that they've just beat Forest Green.
And what's the week been like in terms of training and also exciting new addition in Junior Morias?
Yeah, so we've been tracking Junior for a while. Data and stats on him over the last few seasons have been excellent, particularly at our level. Notts County are very big on data, so for them to go and sign him told me that the data is correct. He's always caused my teams problems when I've played against him. Dynamic, aggressive, strong with his back to goal. Got a very powerful shot on him. I think he played about 18 games for Dagenham and chipped in with sort of 6 goals and another 3 or 4 goal contributions. So his numbers are good as far as what he'll produce, which is what you want from an attacking player. And then we looked at what we felt we needed, and we looked and went, can we have somebody who can play down the middle with another striker? Can we have somebody who can play off of the sides, drop in and play as a 10 if we need him to? H can do it. We've obviously got Wardy, Aiden can play off of sides, H can play off the sides. Now Junior adds that other one in, that across that sort of front three, front four, he can cover a number of positions, and we're hopeful that he'll add more firepower to the team.
And he's been with Notts County, and there's a few players who've been with Notts County now in the squad. And he's also, I think, played quite a bit with Inni Evian, if I'm right. Does that come into the thinking as well?
It doesn't come into my thinking. I think when he wanted a way up, if Woking was a good move for him, he's got plenty of references there, in any Chicks, Frank, that, when we showed an interest in him, like any player would, they would say, what's it like? What's the manager like? What's the atmosphere like? How do you play? What's the football like? And they'll give him their responses, and he'll make a decision on, I think I'm going to thrive and enjoy playing for this club under this manager. Hopefully, that's what the conversation was. You never know, but yeah, I'm sure them boys have played a part in him being as interested as we were.
Yeah, and I imagine players do talk together quite a bit, don't they, about what it's like at different clubs, I would
Yeah, of
imagine.
course, of course. If players aren't enjoying it and they're not enjoying the football you're playing, or they're not, the manager doesn't get on with them or stuff like that, they're not going to give positive feedback. They'll tell the truth.
And last week was playing against a team a couple of levels below. This week, arguably, probably the biggest challenge in the league, or one of the biggest challenges in the league, away at York. And um, I believe this is your first time back there in management. What are your thoughts looking ahead to the game?
Tough game, really tough. Like you say, we're 9 unbeaten, but going into probably the toughest one that we've had. There's a lot of staff there that I get on great with. There's some players there that are fantastic lads. I think the new manager's come in and done exactly what we planned to do in the summer, which was he's cleared a lot of players who weren't up to the way he wanted to play, kept the core of good players, and then added real quality to it. I think they're a very good team. The league tells you that. The data, the stats tell you that. The individual 1v1 dominance they've got. Obviously, it'd be a loss to them losing Ollie Pearce because he's been in exceptional form, but they've just signed Josh Stones, so they've got Lennell John Lewis, so they've got plenty of cover in them positions. My challenge is, and I've said to the group, they're 9 games unbeaten. I don't want to fail them and try to just stop York playing. I want to try and have a game of it, and let's see where we are. And if York are too strong, they're too strong, and we move on. So we'll have a go. Hopefully, if the boys perform, we'll have a go. But we're under no illusions that York are having an exceptional season.
It's been you've been here a few weeks now, and been a lot of players coming in, a few going out, and others coming back from injury and what have you. Do you feel you're beginning to see your stamp, if you like, on the way the team plays?
To be honest with you, really pleasantly surprised. Even glimpses in my first game after 1 day training that the boys took on board. So I feel like there's been elements all the way through, and obviously the more you do it, the more accustomed to it you become. The struggles we've had of late, because we've had so many injuries. I mean, this week we've had 1 or 2 that haven't been able to train, and add that to the longer term injuries. We've had 1 or 2 come up from the academy just to get our numbers up to sort of 15, 16 outfield. And even then, when you want to do the bigger pitch stuff to really get your messages across, it's not easy. So I do feel like the boys are in a good place. They've taken on board lots of stuff, but football never works in a straight line. So we expect the bumps in the road, and hopefully they won't come Saturday. But with the schedule we've got, we're going to need everybody, and we're going to need to change things, shapes, personnel, and everyone's going to need to deliver.
Thank you. And finally, as publicised this week, the National League have gone out with a 3 up, 3 down campaign. You've managed both in the Football League and the National League. What's your opinion, and do clubs change their opinion once they get promoted?
Well, again, it's difficult. This has been going on for a long time. I was told 2 or 3 years ago by somebody that was on the board of the National League that it was going to happen, and then 2 or 3 years later, it's still not. So, it really is down to the authorities to, a higher end to sort this out, because, if you just go to the EFL League 2 and say, right, we want 3 up, 3 down, it's like turkeys voting for Christmas. People will go, oh, no, we don't want to do it. We don't want to fall out of the league. Everyone in our league's going to want 3 up, but it just seems crazy how all the way through the levels you go like that, and then you go, 4 up there, 4 down there, 3 up there, 2 up there, whatever it happens to be. It just seems crazy that it dilutes. Just put it in. I think the National League, nearly every team bar 1 or 2, maybe most are full time. I think there's so much more ambition in the National League now to get to the league, challenge and the teams in the league to remain in the league. Worst case, everybody's got to raise their standards. I'm not just saying it because I'm working at this level. I honestly would say if I was working at the level above, it just makes no sense. And I think if you just put it to the EFL clubs, we're going to get the same response we've had for the last 3 or 4 years. Something's got to be done at a different level to put this in place.
And presumably, I suppose, in the EFL, the other side is if you do drop out into the National League, it's then harder to get back into the Football League.
Well, of course it is. It's ridiculous that one team gets promoted. You've got to win the league to get promoted. And you saw that, the Notts County Wrexham season.
Yes.
109, 106 points, whatever it was. Both teams, Notts ended up getting through in extra time or penalties. It was ridiculous. If Notts County hadn't got promoted that season, it would have been a total injustice. Did it need to take that for something to happen? At the end of the day, the teams that have been promoted from this league, your Wrexhams, I know they've got money, but they've gone again. Notts up and around it at the top. It shows the strength of the league and the club. So for me, it's got to be put in place, and these conversations have got to happen at a higher level. You just can't keep sitting there closing your ears off to it.
Well, thanks for the chat, Neal, and safe trip up to York. Again, lots of us will see you up there. But yeah, thanks for your time and well done on the past week, and we look forward to Saturday.
Thank you.